It's a quick slide. It's not one of those slides that has, you know, but it's got everything that you're going to need, right? And if I also put in the sign-in sheet so you guys can get paid, right? So that's in there also. Elizabeth, yes, question. No, you're good. Make sure I don't get any feedback on this. Okay, good. So once again, good morning. So Nearpod, what is it? If you ask me, it's just a kind of a student engagement, right? I always tell my teachers, the days of, going home with a crate full of papers and that red ink and spending your weekends grading and then giving them the bad news on Monday, those days are done, right? So this definitely gives you assessments. The kids get feedback right away. It's just it's pretty awesome, everything that they can do here, right? Yeah. So if you look here, there's the sign-in sheet. You'll see as you scroll up. Those days are pretty much done. So what I'm going to do, there's just so many bells and whistles to Nearpod, and they keep adding so much stuff just because of the times that we're in. They want to provide the best product for the teachers and the students. So things are going to change. So I'm not going to get too much into the actual bells and whistles, but I am going to tell you how I would teach this in the classroom, right? It's Nearpod School because it's very interactive, right? It allows for different types of learning styles. We have artistic and hands-on and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen, right? And I'm going to show you what I would do on a typical day if I were to present this lesson, right? So in my classroom, yeah, so I mean, I don't use Predict, but it's kind of the same thing, interactive. But the one thing that I do want to stress to you guys is I know teachers, they want to, I got this great slide and I got this great thing. That's cool and all, but I'm a believer in, I'd rather the student understand the content, right? And not spend so much time in creating something when it's already there for you, right? And that's just me, right? And this has a capability. You can put in your slides. You can do all these great stuff with Google Slides, or Google, District, whatever the case may be, and all that's available for you. Don't get me wrong. But when it's already created for you, it's more of getting the message across and understanding what they're doing, right? So a brief overview. It's got everything for everyone, right? It's got your standards, it's got your rubrics, it's got everything. It's got access to all these different applications. Everything is done for you. And of course, just like anything, they update, they'll go with the times. You have filters, you can click on this, whatever the case may be. There's even stuff for PE. My PE kids, my teachers always go like, hey, what about PE? No, there's stuff in there for you. I know there's some French lessons for foreign language. EL, it's so much stuff for EL. It's awesome. Math, science, forget about it. You're going to find something in there for you. All right. So definitely this is an awesome product. You can filter by grades if you want. What kind of, different resources you want to use, whatever the case may be, right? So in my classroom, traditionally, when we were in the classroom, I would have two devices. So on my laptop, I would, as a teacher, start the lesson, right? And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And then on my projector, on my screen, on my whiteboard, however you want to say it, I would join also as a student. That purpose was this. The students can still see what's going on, right? I'm seeing what the students have, right? So, because sometimes, it doesn't work, or I can't click on it. Well, it's not necessarily something that they're doing or something that you're doing, right? So you say, you know what, you're right. This slide doesn't work, or this video doesn't work. So that kind of serves two purposes. And also I'm able to instruct, right? As we're getting along, I can give them an example. well, you might want to write this, or whatever the case may be. This works real good with Goal Guardian. Was once again, you can see where they're at, what they're doing. One of the new functions of Goal Guardian is that you can present from there, and you're able to see exactly. They can't go anywhere else but to that presentation, and we'll get more into that as we go along. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit slower because I've been going kind of fast on my other presentations. So as you go here, right, you can see the different lessons. And if you go to your My Library, so every lesson that you want, you're gonna add it to your library, right? So I have different lessons here, right? And I don't know, we'll select any lesson. We'll go here. So if you look here, we have two different things. It's called live participation. That means as the teacher, you have control of the lesson. You determine which slide they go to, and how long you spend on whatever slide you want to, right? Now the student pace, you can assign it, and it's exactly what it is. They do it on their own time with their own, whatever the case may be, whenever they want, right? All these slides, you can add slides, you can take slides out, you can, it's got all those functions, everything that you would want to be able to do, you're able to do it, right? It's pretty awesome in what they're able to do. So me, let's say I walk in the morning, or, I use this the last quarter and definitely during summer school. So if I just click onto live participation, and all of a sudden there's gonna be this code, right? And all you're gonna do is, if you want to, you can go on to, because I always tell as students, what do we see? You can go to join.nearpod.com. If you want to type that into a different window, you're more than welcome to. Now the code teaching, I'm not sure. It's always just been me, but anybody can pretty much, as you're going to see, can start a lesson, right? If you have an account with the salesiahighschool.org or whatever it's called, you're able to have access to this, and you can create this lesson. And like I said, all I did was click, right? And once you go to nearpod.com, all right? And I'm also going to do it with you guys here. And you're going to see where it says enter code. As you're going to join as a student, And I'm not sure if we're going to have a numbers thing, because I know some of the programs only allow 50 kids or whatever. And in the name, I always put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but you can put your name, or Mickey Mouse, whatever you want. It's up to you. And click join session. And there you see the slide. Now I'm also going to show you something pretty cool here. So the link, I'm going to copy it, right? You see my screen, and distance learning, right? Where we have Google Meets. I'm just going to put it right in here. And if you follow that link, you're in. So there's two ways that you could get the kids to join. And as you can see, very simple, right? What's a class code? Oh, it doesn't work. All those different things that our students tend to tell us to try to get out of working. And here's the code again, WDLSY. But you can also just click on that link. And it links to Google Classroom, right? You can send it through Google Classroom. You have different kids to give it to, whatever the case may be. So you can also use that function, which is pretty cool. It's totally up to you. All right. Awesome. So right now you should have that what is COVID-19 on your screen. And this is a live lesson. So I control the slides, right? I'm in charge here. Now in Go Guardian, if I'm presenting my screen, cool, this is what they see. But like I said, I have this lesson created on a different laptop, and what I'm presenting, I'm actually presenting as the student, right? Or I can present as a teacher. I'm going to tell you why as we go on, all right? It's got everything you want, assessments, scaffolding, whatever the case may be. And you can do it several ways. So like, what is COVID-19 and what can we do to help? So I'll tell my kids, all right, in the chat box, tell me, what do you think? right? Or open up your mic and tell me about some kids will, some won't, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So the kid, you want to make sure that they put the real name, right? Or the ID number, whatever the case may be, because you want them to have to get credit for what they're doing. And I'll show you later on how that works in. So I'll tell them, okay, what's the question here? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever academic vocabulary I need to give them, that's fine. And as you can see, it tells me here, I don't know if you guys can see my screen, how many kids are in here, right? So if I have a class of 35, and I know there's 35 kids sitting down physically, and I only got 25, I'm saying, hey, we're short 10 kids, right? Go ahead and log in, right? So it'll tell me what slide I'm on, whatever the case may be. So this is pretty cool because, and I'll show you the function later, you know, you can hide the students' names because some might be, like Mr. Novati said, maybe embarrassed, right? They don't want to give the wrong answer, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to show you how we kind of work around that. All right, awesome. So once again, I clicked it over. I control the slides. I control the content. I can tell them, hey, this is what we're working on. This is what we're doing, blah, 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 whatever the case may be, right? I can have a Google Meet right here, okay? They can use the notes function, definitely. Like I said, there's a lot of bells and whistles here. I mean, it's totally up to you. You know your students. But if I'm trying to get through the lesson, I'm trying to get the content done, you know, it just varies with you, right? So definitely there's all these different functions that you can use. And I'm just telling you how I use it, right? All right. So here we go. Oops. What do we know? What do we think we know? We'll watch a hip hop video explaining how is it transmitted, whatever the case may be. Okay. So here, I have all my students, whatever the case may be. There should have been 4 questions. So this slide contains, would you like the video to be played? All devices. I always put all devices, right? So they can go back and watch it. And once again, you apply for the rest of the lesson, right? And once again, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I can help you with all this stuff, but I'm going to try to get through a lot of stuff today. So I hit all devices, right? I control the video. So you're watching my video on my screen.
Times like these can be stressful, and it can be hard to keep track of everything that's going on.
So for our visual learners, definitely this is awesome.
Health issue like COVID-19 is to be educated and prepared, and to get your information from reliable sources. Actually, that's what we do. Everything you hear in this song comes from trustworthy sources like the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's website. So, let's talk about.
And so, you know, what did we learn? Right? And you'd have 4 questions there. For some reason, it's not loading up, but you would have 4 different questions of what the video was and whatever the case may be. All right. So now, explain what you can do to help prevent the spread of COVID. All right. So you would have a function where you can type in your answer, right? Whatever the case may be. As you can see here, so this is my screen, right? So I would type in whatever. As you can see on my screen, maybe there's a kid whose answer was not good and you don't want to show it to them, right? Nearpod has created this student view, and you can change it to what the student sees right on your own laptop. All right. To make sure where you're at. Okay. And I see what the student sees if I don't have that second device. All right. Or like I would be on my laptop. I go to teacher view. Okay. And let's say, you know what, Steve, man, this is a great answer. So I want to share it with the class. So this is what you're going to see. Right. So Steve's name is not on there. Right. So they're not gonna get the embarrassment of, oh man, Steve, that's a dumb answer. Steve, what's wrong with you? Oh, you know, whatever the case may be. But you can have a discussion. Do you agree or disagree with this answer? How many of you guys, put this answer in there? Whatever the case may be. Student interaction with this program is just phenomenal, right? It really is. Okay. And then you can see, I can, as a teacher now, I'm looking at, okay, hey, Mariah, I'm waiting for your answer, Mariah. Edgar, waiting for your answer, right? Because once again, you're going to be at home, right? And you can't be waiting for them because, as you know, in Google Meets, like, okay, put an answer in chat, and the kids will not respond because they figure, hey, well, if they don't call on me, I'm not going to do anything. But here, say, hey, Susanna, come on, Susanna, we got to move on, right? Hurry up, answer. And Susanna put something in there. But once they know that their name is not going to come up when you share their idea or thoughts, you're going to get so much buy-in. It's pretty awesome. It really is. All right. So right here, it tells me 55% participation. I'm still waiting for you. Okay, guys, 30 seconds. And it'll jump up. Okay, 10, 9, 8. Submit whatever you got. So you get credit for it. Once I say so you get credit for it, boom, I mean, it just goes up, right? Because they all want to get points or whatever the case may be. All right. So yeah, so I'll move on to the next slide. And that was a quick kind of lesson. They have so much other stuff you can do. So you say, okay, now you're done, Solis. Now what's going to happen? All right. So I can end the session, right? Or, right, if let's say I didn't finish all my slides, right? Do you want to leave this session so you resume it later? Yes. So this will be saved. So tomorrow I can continue whatever slide I left off on, right? They'll join with the same code. And theoretically, if they're on the same device, which they all are going to be, right? They're going to say, hey, well, what can we do? And mostly they can get on there. Not a problem. Even if they miss the day, if they type in the code, it'll allow them to get on wherever you left off. Okay. Good. So let me see here. Translation. Okay. I'm not sure about that one. Good. Sign exact. Yes. Pretty much simple. All right. So I'm going to say no. Right. So I'm going to end the session. Yes, I'm sure. Right. Oh, I'm not sure. Whatever the case may be. So the way I did it was I did create 6 different sessions for the 6 different periods that we had throughout the school year. And I was able to go back because it's not so much period 1, period 2, period 3, but you know the time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Hey, so, Richard, there's a lot of questions in the chat, and I was wondering if you can answer some.
Sure. Let me see here. The notes function, yes, you can. Definitely, it's up to you. So the video doesn't play on the student's computer, it's just yours. No, so once you click on that access button, for me as a teacher, I say watch my video, because then they'll be kind of, watching their video, whatever the case may be. But if they want to watch the video on their own, then they can, as you're watching that. That's not a problem, especially when it's the student pace one, right? You want to make sure they have access to that video. Now, sometimes the videos, they're old videos, and maybe they're taken off YouTube or from whatever website they came from. So sometimes I would test it to make sure that that video works, right? I'm not sure there's closed caption in other languages that I'm not sure on. So if it didn't play on your computer, I always tell my kids to kind of reset it, right? Because that might be an issue. Just kind of reset it and then come back in, and it'll let you back in. See here. Okay, yes, I'm going to go over the lessons, the response. As soon as we're done, I'm going to show you probably the best feature of this part. And do you make copies for each presentation? No. No. So there's a little, once you have the slides in the corner, there's a little button that you click on, and they can take notes in there if they'd like. Should they have both screens open? No. Google Meets and Nearpod. Oh, yes, they could. Definitely, right? Because you want to talk to them. But once you have GoGuardian, it's kind of, I think it's going to solve that issue. Do students have access to submissions? No. Once you've submitted, I haven't seen where they can go back and see what they've answered. So definitely, and I'll kind of go over that right now. So as you look for my
And
computer,
Richard,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but according to that I did the notes
Mhm.
and during your presentation, and I had it email it to me,
Okay.
and I got a copy of every single slide
Perfect.
that presented. And
Awesome.
then whatever slide I took notes on, there was notes underneath it.
Perfect. Good. There you go. Any other questions? All right. So once again, here's a question. So how do I determine who did what or where or what? If you go here to your reports, and so I don't know, I'll go to, let me see which is a good one here. I think we did this during summer school. Let me see which is a good one here. So here, as you can see, I had, the different time periods, right? And I'm just going to check on this session. So once again, this is all the data that you're going to need, right? Especially now they're going to be asking for like formative assessments and evidence of what you did in the classroom. So here we have this class, whatever period it is. You have all their names, right? And I always tell them type in your name or your ID number, right? So I can go back if I want to put in the grade book. It'll tell me what they got on the quiz, if they answered the poll, on the open-ended questions, what did they complete? If they did the draw it gives them, and it kind of gives them an overall, right? And so I see all these different students here. I can print this, I can download it, or whatever you want, whatever the case may be. So if I go and I click here on the quiz, right? This might have been a question that I asked, right? And the question was, which of the following does this article not list as a cause of erosion, right? And you'll see how many people got it correct, or whatever the case may be. And then you have the other one, which of the following does the article not list as a cause of erosion? And you'll see the responses, right? You'll see who didn't answer, right? You'll see who got it correct and who did not get it correct, right? And it kind of gives you as a teacher, do I need to reteach this, or am I good? If only 8 got it wrong, that's fine. Well, not everybody was participating, right? Not 19 answers only. Then there was a poll question. How confident do you feel about describing the cause of erosion? I mean, it's pretty awesome, right? And so you're going to see, hey, very confident. 42 did not answer. Just tell me what you think, guys. Just, don't, whatever it is, it's no right or wrong answer. Pretty confident, whatever the case may be. And then you look at your students, right? Lupe, why didn't you feel, confident, or whatever the case may be? And then you have your open-ended questions, right, throughout the slides, because it's hard for you to grade 36 different ones at one time. But if you click on here, right, it'll tell you what each student responded to. And this allows you to go home, and instead of carrying that big old crate of papers, you just take your laptop, whatever the case may be, and you can look, oh, Arnulfo, why did he think that? Or, you know what, I can scroll down here. Okay, good. Everybody's got the right idea. Oh, man, this guy doesn't. Whatever the case may be. I don't know, right? And so all the different questions that were provided there are going to be here, right? And this is just a lesson, right? An example of their responses, their name, whatever the case may be. And like, once again, if you have students with two same names, make sure they put their last name or whatever, their ID number. It's up to you. But you get the idea of what it is. And what's cool about Nearpod is it allows the kids to draw, right? And once they draw whatever, and they can also bring in images, right, from Google images, whatever the case may be, right? And that can open up whoever, Henry. Okay, cool. Hey, man, that's a pretty good drawing, Henry. Whatever they did. And the kids love to be creative, especially if they have their stylus or whatever the case may be. Right? This person put in some images, which is fine. And if you're not the best drawer in the world, it's okay. Put in some images, just have fun with it, right? Be creative and whatnot. All right. And then, this is kind of more of a when you're in the classroom, whatnot, the kids, they might draw something, right? It's kind of like if you use Padlet, right? Which is pretty cool. And the kids are able to type in here, but we just didn't get to that function on this one. All right. Okay. And then once again, they have so many different lessons in there, so many different ways to use it. I mean, it's just, there's no way we're gonna get through it in an hour. But I do want to help you to let's say you want to find it. And our science guys, a lot of good stuff. English language arts, a lot of great stuff. This is probably the one that I do like, right? It is the VR part, because it allows for the kids to kind of, you know, go out there and just kind of be able to view it. I'm going to show you, I'm going to preview it. I'm not going to have you guys join because you guys saw how easy it was to join. But let's say you're trying to find something, right? You can just go to the preview mode. In order for you to be able to launch the lesson, you got to save it to your library. And as you can see, my library is pretty extensive, right? And you don't want to put too much stuff in there. Can you share this with your other teachers? Yes. So you can do your PLCs or whatever. Say, okay, let's work on this, let's work on that, and it's pretty awesome. Right, so it's pretty cool. You're able to kind of a virtual reality. You can go through it. You can navigate. You can drag here. You can drag there. It gives the kids options to see what's going on in there, which is pretty awesome. All right. It gets links to videos, right? Let me see any other questions here so far. Yeah, whoever's, I mean, I haven't gotten any emails about anybody trying to get in. So the ones that did, I let them in. So they should be good. All right. So one of the new things, the new functions that Nearpod kind of came up with a couple of weeks ago, or I don't know how long ago, maybe we go, is if you're familiar with Edpuzzle, it kind of allows you to create from YouTube a video and do kind of the Edpuzzle thing, create the questions and whatnot. And once again, those reports also are going to come out here. So if you were with vocabulary, which is pretty cool, is that they put the video in and they already create the slides for you. I mean, everything is done. All right, everything is done for you. You know, whatever you want to talk about. Now, not all the vocabulary videos are on here, right? Vocabulary, if you saw my presentation, it's kind of a different, it's different and it's not entity. But they've already taken that video and they've created slides, right? Whatever the case may be. And it's pretty cool because they've done all the work for you, right? And so you don't have to do anything, you know, extra. You just kind of launch it and we'll preview it here for my science people. You know, it gives you everything you need, whatever the case may be. How long it should take you, what do you want to do, recommendations. It's pretty awesome, right? Administration so far, okay, what are you working on? You know, what is your target? What are you trying, what the kid's going to do afterwards? What are your learning goals? Whatever the case may be, right? Cornell Notes, Avid Kids, Essential Question. Whoa, there it is, right? It's got all that for you. Okay. All right. All right. So any questions so far? We're about the halfway point. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's go ahead and look at a lesson that I created. And now we're going to do the student paste, right? So if you go ahead and go to Nearpod, join at nearpod.com, go ahead and put in that code. But I'm also, right, I'm also going to create this link. And once again, I'll put in the Google Meets. Follow that link and it should take you there. All right. And I'm also going to follow the link as a student on my separate computer to make sure it works, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. Right. And it's going to ask for my name. Right. And I always put I just put a number in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Join the session. right? So now you, asynchronous learning, they're going to be on their own, right? You see the video, you can play it as you want, whatever the case may be, right? And if you just go ahead and go through the slides on your own, I'll give you some time to work on your own. Just kind of hit click, play it. If you click on the link, yes, you don't need a code. So it's pretty, pretty simple. So right now I'm on the first slide, got my video, me speaking, whatever the case may be. And it's got the guiding question, right? So this one you can kind of answer where it says guiding question, how do we build skills? Right, so now I just joined as a student. And it's also got, which is pretty awesome, the immersive reader, whatever you want to call it, speech to text, that's available for them. All right, so now maybe I'm going slower than you are, right? You're probably on a different slide. So in here I can, I don't know. I want to put whatever, yes, no, whatever the case may be, right? And it'll slave on that slide. All right, and it's okay on my own. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, Solis. All right, cool, I got it, not a problem. And like I said, the VR is pretty cool. Tells them what you want to do, all right? And I can kind of scroll here, ask them, okay, so what do you think this kid is doing, or on their own, or if it's a live session, right? It allows them to scroll and do all that great stuff, whereas opposed it's just kind of a textbook and read this, read that, whatever the case may be. Yes, it does link to Google Classroom. You can send it through Google Classroom. Back in the day, if you had a sub or whatnot, and if you were at home, you're feeling ill, you say, okay. And so you could send it through there. And so, okay, just tell them to go to Google Classroom and whatnot. And so for the student to take the collaboration is probably not going to be there, right? Because once again, it's on their own. They're not going to be able to do whatever the case may be, right? But I can select here, right? The think, pair, share. Well, you're kind of at home, right? You're on your own, but they can definitely still answer it. Check for understanding, right? Definitely is awesome. Video, so like I'm at home, right? So sometimes these kids love this video for whatever reason. But look at all the different functions that you're doing just in one lesson, right? Talk about having the kids being engaged, right? There's just so much for every different type of learner. It's incredible, right? And like I said, you're able to check the responses later, whatever the case may be, all right? All right, and it's cool. They can watch the video here, and then they can draw a line here. They can draw a line there. They get a kick out of it, or whatever the case may be. All right. Right? Did they get it wrong? Oh, I thought this was this. I thought that was so. Talk about automatic feedback. There it is. And like I said, each lesson is different. It has other resources towards the end where you can go through. I'll go back here. All right, they can click on here. All right. At their own pace. They can look up words they don't understand. The possibilities are just endless, right? They just really are. which is why it's so great. More videos. And like I said, I know there was a stat this week. Someone put like 83% of our kids, they learn through videos, which is why that's such a big role. And once again, we have I love this part, right?
IDEO is a leading design firm. Watch the video showing how they think a brainstorming or ideation session should be facilitated. What were characteristics of a good brainstorming session according to it?
Right. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome for the kid who might not know how to pronounce a word or just for them to hear it and understand it. It's pretty awesome. All right. Okay. So definitely you can continue on that process there, right? I'm going to show you another cool function, which I like. It's pretty cool. And we're going to do it live, right? I use this for warm-ups, all right? Once again, if you go to join.nearpod.com and just close your session, whatever session you have on. Yes, so kids can skip questions, but there's a function that Nearpod put on there where you can't allow them. Say, nope, until they complete or they submit an answer, they're not allowed to go to the next slide. All right, so it's up to you.
Could you please show us where that is?
All right.
I just found it and posted it.
Okay.
In advance.
All right, so if you guys can go to, and like I said, on the slides, I put down all the links that you're going to need, all the questions you're going to have to all these different functions, who to get a hold of tech or whatever the case may be. These programs do a real great job. And also on that slide, if you saw at the beginning, and I didn't show it to you, my fault, it's got vocabulary, Newsella, and also these links, right? So here we go, right? Once again, did I put this link in there already? No? And so now we're going to see just how all right. So we're good. So once again, I'm in charge, right? You'll be seeing this on a different screen. Okay. Oops. And I can select underwater, space. I'm in the Star Wars mood today, so I'm going to say space. And so I'm waiting for you guys to connect. Right. And once again, you can select your own little avatar, so to speak, whatever the case may be. So this will be at the beginning of the class. All right, guys, let's log on here. Let's find out what you know or what you don't know. All right. And so you have about another 30 seconds. If you're not in, you're going to get a chance for points. So you need to hurry up. Oh, Mr. Lees, but my internet connection, I'll tell you, you need to hurry up.
Incidentally, I click on the link and then a blank page appears. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, so just like I tell my kids, reset it, right?
Okay.
There's some connection. Like that happened to me also. So here we go, right? We're still for more players. I'm connected, right? I choose my avatar, the little green guy. And the kids love this, right? And I see everybody's there. So let's get started. Let's see how this works. So some of you guys have probably seen that my screen or different internet connections or whatever, because before this came on, I already had my question, right? So you read the question, select your answer, right? Top 5 kids get a free extra 10 points on your test, right? Or top 10. I mean, I don't know. The kids, once again. So time's up. Now here comes question number 2. And you can see who's ahead. All right, mac and cheese, nice. No. And I can scroll down, right? Oh, Matthew, come on, Matthew, what's going on? Come on, German, what's happening? Let's go. We went over this. All right. Oh, Cody, great job, Cody. Well, way to go. Someone did their reading, right? I mean, whatever the case may be, right? So definitely, you can do this as a pre-assessment. You can do it as a formative assessment at the end of the lesson, whatever you feel is necessary. Now, once again, I'm going to go ahead and end the session. I know my competitive teachers want to keep going and see if they win or not. So I just ended the session, right? And I'll go to my reports. And once again, here it is, right? And it gives me a student sentence, whatever response they had and then their codes, whatever the case may be, right? I could share this. I can download it, PDF, whatever, if I want the actual physical copy of the grades, whatever the case may be. Okay. So that's pretty awesome there. All right. Good. Awesome. All right. So, hold on here. So once again, here's my email, right? And so what is it? How to use it, the purpose and effectiveness, the grading. If you need some training one-on-one over the weekend or the beginning of next week, I'm going to put out the form right now where you can kind of send me a little email, so to speak. Also, I put in the stuff for vocabulary, how to use it and whatnot. Newsella also. And if your site does want it, that's your sales rep. Once again, I don't get a kickback from them, whatever. I just believe that these applications are awesome for especially our EL learners. It really helps them out. It keeps the students engaged. And guess what? If you look at it, it makes your job as grading and as assessing them a lot easier, right? You don't have to go through, 30 different worksheets or 30 different stacks of papers, that red marker, bring it out. It's all there for you, right? And once again, Nearpod, right? It gives you the link, how to use Nearpod. Nearpod does a great job of, putting all the different resources that they have here, right? Any question that you have, it's all on here, right? So definitely you'll take the time and and go through it. So all those links are there for you, right? The link to Nearpod, definitely. So for those of you guys who, if you remember, the district gave it to us towards the end of the quarter, right? And you probably got an email from Nearpod that says, to activate your account, whatever. I'm not sure if you still have it until I know the district is in the process of finalizing stuff like that. But you can try to go on there to Nearpod, and with your Salinas Union High School District email, you should already have an account kind of created. You just kind of got to click on here and click on there, and it should give you access to all that stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and share this link again. Those of you guys who didn't get it.
Hey, Richard,
Yeah.
two things. One, I totally appreciate your presentation, and we all are hoping that you can change the battery in your smoke detector so that you can.
Yes.
And then the second thing is, can you? There are some questions still in the chat.
Okay.
Do you think you could maybe answer some of those?
Sure. Let me
Thank
see
you.
here. Yeah, my house.
I got up to check my smoke detector alarm. Thought it was me.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll go ahead and create a lesson for you guys. I kind of go through it pretty quick because I mean there's just so much stuff. I mean I was gonna create a lesson for you guys. Yes, I was like, oh maybe, but you know, time being permitted, whatnot. So if you see up here, right, you can use integrate with Google Slides, and here's the new. See, I don't know if you guys have it because it is a beta, and I did have access to it, which is kind of the Ed puzzle part of it that I kind of told you guys, and you will have access to it. You can bring in a video from YouTube, and you'll just create it like Ed Puzzles did. Those of you guys who know what it is. And I found that just from YouTube is a lot easier than putting yours in there because they go, oh, well, it's too much information, blah, 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 whatever the case may be, right? So let's say I want to do a lesson, right? And it's pretty simple, right? You just go here, you can add your slide, you can put videos, you can do different slide web contents. Here's the vocabulary video that you can insert, right? The function there. Science part. I mean, there's just so much stuff here that you can put in, right?
It looks like the video is beta because my options are only lesson in Nearpod and lesson in Google Slides.
Okay, yeah. So that's why I don't want to show it, or no, does that make sense? But I'm sure you'll have to it. And then different activities, right? You can create this stuff. Flipgrid, if those of you guys use Flipgrid, email me and I'll give you all the new bells and whistles they came out with this summer. They've really done a lot of great stuff there. And once again, you can implement the link straight here, right? So you don't have to go back and forth. I think what they're really trying to do is to make it so simple that the student doesn't have to, like, say, go to this window, go to that window, follow this, and go. Trying to make it simpler, not only for the student, but as the teacher also, right? So you have everything in one function. And don't get me wrong, right? I mean, you know, having them do Nearpod all day for 3 different periods is probably going to get a little kind of, you know, not frustrating, but say, oh, okay, again, Nearpod. So I do stress, you know, using this, but, you know, maybe not on a daily basis, every once in a while to change the monotony of whatever you're teaching. But once again, talk about asynchronous learning. I mean, student pays, work on your own, whatever the case may be. The draw it, I love, right? The poll, fill in the blanks, you can create whatever you want. All right. So let me see. Mix the slides, yes. Vocabulary, yes. How to insert it. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, no. So once again, like I told you, I have the beta version of it. They're gonna put it on there. They should a little bit later, but it's the same thing as Ed Puzzles. But they're gonna have their own function now, which is pretty cool. All right. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and put in the link. Oh, I'm trying to answer. Okay. And once again, if you have any questions, you can undo your mic right now. I'm going to try to get that form. So it's a lot easier for teachers, kind of one-on-one, open up your computer, click on here, click on there, whatever the case may be. If you have any questions about any of the other programs, I have no problem helping you guys out with that also, whatever the case may be.
So I have a question about VR, but I can email you and
We'll figure it out.
get some help on that individually. Thank you.
And then, so there's the form if you want to open it. Um, and I'm gonna go ahead and put in the. So how long does it take? You know, it varies, right? Some are 40 slides. Some are you can take slides out, take them in. You know, depends. Um, like I said, you can do half the slides one day and then the other half the next day. You can save the lesson, go back to it. You know, it really depends on you. But typically, those most of the lessons are like about 32 slides and on, and it is going to take you maybe an hour to get through. It just depends on how fast you're going and what you want them to do. Yeah. So once again, the big feedback thing, right? So definitely they can communicate. So right now I'm on 2 screens. So my other computer, it's muted, but sometimes you'd get feedback, right? Because I'm presenting, or if I'm playing music, you'd hear the echo or whatnot. So right now you're not hearing an echo, but I do have two Chromebooks open right now. But when I did have music playing, you'd hear whatever in the background. So definitely you can have them, and like they're going to be at home anyways. It's usually when they're next to each other. All right. Let's see here. No, so the additional support, that's just for me. That doesn't go. That's not evaluation. So that's just if you want to, you know, sometimes it's easier. If, you know, we'll do a Google Meet, and you know, we'll open it up, and I'll say, okay, show me your screen, and I'll tell you, okay, click here, click there. Whatever the case may be. How do I create a class? Well, you can create a class this way if that's what you want on the different functions. Share with Google or whatever the case may be. Because sometimes it gets frustrating. If you don't know where to go, you kind of like, forget this. You know, I mean, I'm going crazy. But sometimes it's a little click here. Okay, now I got it. So whatever the case may be. All right. Yeah. So on the yeah, so you can put my name. That's fine. Whatever the case may be. The first one that I sent out is more for me to get a hold of you guys and say, okay, hey, let's meet here, because it's a lot easier to, once you get the information now, to kind of work on it now, because traditionally when you go to these conferences, okay, I'll wait till I get to the classroom, and you know, it's 30 days later. Oh, what did he talk about? Or it's fresh in your mind. All right. Well, it's awesome. I know you have so many questions. I mean, go play with it. Have fun with it. Like I said, you can create your own stuff. All your answers are pretty much there. They do a great support group. Like if you have a question, you can email them, and they're really good at getting right back to you on that. All right. All right. Awesome. I think we have like 6 hours left. So those of you guys who are going to other sessions, enjoy. I've been going to sessions all day, man, and they're pretty awesome. We have a lot of great stuff going on here at Salinas. Bye-bye.
Richard, I had a quick question. At the very beginning, you said you logged in both as yourself as the teacher and as a student. Can you explain that again, why you did that?
So that way I can see what the student is seeing on their computer, right? So as me as a student, like if the video is not loading, they're going to tell me, so leave the video, I can't see it. And then I look at mine. Oh, you're right. I didn't enable the video part. Or you know what? That video is it's gone, right? So I can see what they're doing. Also, I can probably provide an answer, right? Maybe I want them to see, hey, a certain answer for a specific question. I want to lead them into that direction, right? And so, like I said, when we're on campus, my laptop would be here, and the student one would be on the screen up top, all right? And I could put in there, I could type in an answer, whatever, and they look at that. Oh, that's what kind of I'm looking for, or whatever the case may be. So that was powerful stuff. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. The other thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around with distance learning is during the presentation, we were going in and we were, you know, as students going through your presentation and answering the questions, but I was able to go back to the Google Meet, and I was able to see like things on your screen that you had up as the teacher that maybe I wouldn't want students to see necessarily.
Yes. Yeah.
I wrap my head around how you don't do that, or, you know.
Yeah, so what I'm presenting to the teacher, I'm actually logging as a student. So when I was on campus, my laptop, the one that you're seeing right now, that would be my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And as a student on my mainframe here, my one on my desk, that would be what I'm projecting. So I would log in as a student there.
I get that in the physical classroom. I 100% understand what you're saying. I'm just having a lot of trouble trying to translate this to doing it virtually.
So for example, I would on this computer that you're presenting through GoGuardian, through Google Meet, right?
Mhm.
I would add this function. I would add the code. So when I'm on my other computer here, and if I put it in Google Meets, right, you would join as a student.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids can't see this other computer. They can see this computer because now I'm a student. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you run like 2 computers in order to do this.
Definitely, yes, yeah. No, it's no, because even Nearpod won't let you, be teacher and I mean, you could open the tab, but it's going to read you because of your Google account.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So like on the Google Meet that you're on with the kids, you log in as a student on that computer, and then you have a separate computer you're running where you're logged in as the teacher, and you're pushing the content out to them, right?
And that would be the computer where I'm on GoGuardian, because I can click back from GoGuardian to the presentation. I can see what kids are not on there. You know what I mean? And I say, hey, Johnny, hey, you're not on Nearpod, Johnny. You better get there, right? Or I can see what slide they're on, right? If they're all on the slide where they're drawing, perfect. Okay, guys, you guys got 30 seconds or whatever the case may be. So
Okay.
definitely I can help you out with that. And I mean, GoGuardian and Nearpod, I mean, they go hand in hand, and it's powerful stuff as far as making sure the student is engaged, right?
Yeah, that helps me out. Thank you. The 2 computers. Thank you so much.
No problem.
While you're on the subject of 2 computers, Richard, is that how you avoid the static? Because I attended 2 sessions and we had a lot of static on that. And also I noticed that you were not recording, well, actually you were muted on your presentation, but you were unmuted in the other account.
Okay, yeah, so right now on the other one, so I'm muted, I have the camera off, and I have actual mute on the physical on the computer. So right now you're the one I'm on here is the actually one that I'm presenting through Google Meets. And so if I told you at the beginning when I was playing some music, right, and you got feedback, right, for whatever reason, because it was this mic was picking it up or that mic was picking it up, so I couldn't play it until I turned that one off. And then once on my second laptop, once I stopped, I muted that, did all the stuff, and then I came here, and for whatever reason, once I click on here and let it open, we were able to there was no more feedback. So I mean, I don't know how it works, but I don't know if that makes any sense.
Actually, it wasn't feedback we were getting yesterday, just pure static.
And so I don't know. So that's clear today, right? Or
very clear. Thank you.
Computers, man, sometimes they want to work, sometimes they don't. I don't know.
The evaluation link?
Yes, it should be right here. Can you see it there? Oh, I'm not presenting, sorry. If you scroll down, it's on there about at 10:53 a.m. So here's the actual form, and then the bottom one is the actual evaluation for the district.
So I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So when the students are maybe doing a Nearpod synchronous lesson, do they have both your Google Meets open as well as the Nearpod session? Or can they put on the Nearpod session and then you say, okay, in 15 minutes, come back or log back in?
Yes. And then, like I say, because I also have GoGuardian open with Google Meet, so I can see their screen where they're at. So I know what they're doing. So they do have to go back and forth. And traditionally, they don't have a lot of questions, right? Because it's pretty simple, but some do. And some will ask me on GoGuardian, they'll send me a little message. Hey, Solis, I don't understand this. Can you explain? And I'll go and I'll give instructions to the whole class, right? Because they feel a little more comfortable, asking questions in GoGuardian because it's just one-on-one, whatever the case may be, right? So yeah, so definitely they're in Meet, and they open up their Nearpod on a different window.
Okay, thank you.
And it works great. It really does.
while you're on GoGuardian, I have sent messages to students on GoGuardian, but can they initiate a chat on GoGuardian, or do you have to initiate it for them?
Yeah, so make sure once you log into GoGuardian, up on top it'll tell you to open the chat box, and once you open the chat box, it allows you to have that conversation back and forth. And if you were that GoGuardian presentation, I'm pretty sure we're going to have that access to where they can just kind of click on their mic and ask you something, as opposed to in Google Meets where you ask one question and everybody hears it, right? So that function theoretically is supposed to be just one-on-one.
That's excellent. Thank you.
And just to follow up to my last question, in regards of them having Google Meets and Nearpod open, then when you said to, like, you have the students watch your video instead of each of them just watching their own, so that means you're presenting on Google Meets the video you presenting as you logged in as a student. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then that way everyone's on the same page.
Yes.
Thank you.
And with GoGuardian, the new function that they have is they have that present mode where you'll be able to present to all their screens, and if they're GoGuardian, they got to see it no matter what.
Right. Got it. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.